Hey, thanks for watching this replay of Award Travel 101 Live. I'm your founder, Richard Kerr, and today we are talking domestic award ticket sweet spots that you're not researching and you don't know enough about, and you're not taking that time it takes to dig into these websites. Save yourself miles, save yourself cash, and get some really great itineraries flying around the United States. Hey, put in the comments where you're tuning in from. I always like to see the reach of Award Travel 101. And as always, this video is going to be available on our YouTube channel, Award Travel 101, for replaying anytime. So you can get those late night study sessions going with your glass of wine, in my case, glass of bourbon, and really dig into these programs. And of course, you can find it on the page underneath the videos tab. So hey, let's dive right into this. Our very own contributor to the Award Wallet blog, Christina, wrote an amazing post. It's entitled "The Sweet Spots of American Express Membership Rewards for Domestic Flights." You can find this in the comments of the video to find a link to this. But she came up and covered some really great programs that are going to save you miles when booking tickets. So I'm going to do a few screen shares just to show you what these sites look like, as well as ones that are not Amex partners, and more things that you just need to know when booking domestic award tickets. If you have any questions, come back anytime in the group and comment, and we always try and get back to you. So first, I'm going to pull a little tab over here, and then we're going to go right into screen share so that we can take a look at it. So welcome to the Virgin Atlantic website. Yes, this is an American Express transfer partner. This is a Chase Ultimate Rewards transfer partner. This is a Citi Thank You Points transfer partner, and you can get the Virgin Atlantic Bank of America co-branded card, so you can very quickly get yourself quite a few Virgin Atlantic miles and book domestic Delta tickets. So let's say I'm an Atlanta man, so I want to fly from hot Atlanta here. I want to go over to LAX, Los Angeles. I always like to search one way because it's just easier to tackle things in each direction and come back and piece it together. I'm picking a random date out here, one passenger, advanced searched economy. If I'm going fast, it's fine. You can pause and replay, but there's so much information to cover and so little time. And we do a little bit of search. They've done a recent update to this site if you're not familiar with it. A little bit easier to use, but still not the best. So we have to do one little extra step here. But plenty of availability here. And you're going to see this price, 12,500 miles, $5.60. That's the price every day, no matter what Delta domestic ticket you pick. You're going to find 12,500 miles and $5.60 for an economy Delta ticket. Now, Virgin Atlantic charges per segment, and they don't care what Delta is charging. So here's quite a few options. Fly on nonstops, you see right here, operated by Delta Airlines. And you can be able to fly for 12,500 miles, even if Delta is charging 20,000 sky miles. Even if they're charging 30,000 sky miles, it doesn't matter. You need to come right here to Virgin Atlantic's website, and you need to search before looking at what Delta's going to charge. And here's a great little thing here. We want to see 5 weeks of availability. Make sure Pay with Miles is selected. And we're going to go right back and see 5 weeks of availability from Atlanta to Los Angeles. And look at that. Tons and tons of flights for 12,500 miles. I can guarantee you on almost every day for these nonstops that Delta is going to charge you more sky miles than 12,500. And you're going to come out with a great deal. You can also go to upper class, which is going to show you domestic first availability. 22,500 miles is what it costs for nonstop. So you say, hey, Richard, this obviously says twice as much. This is 45,000. That means it's going to be a connecting itinerary. So they charge you per segment using Virgin Atlantic miles. So if you have to connect with Delta, not a good deal. You see here, we're connecting an SLC, that's Salt Lake City. You pay for Atlanta to Salt Lake City. You pay again the same price, $22,500 for Salt Lake City to Los Angeles. And you pay 45,000 miles. So we want to look at those nonstop options. And that is a real quick insight into why you need to use, look at that zoom in, Virgin Atlantic miles in order to book domestic Delta tickets if you want the nonstop. Being an Atlanta man, like I just said, I'm telling you, Delta wants 32,500 sky miles. Forget that nonsense. Virgin Atlantic can possibly charge me only 12,500. Now, we don't know when Virgin Atlantic has access to Delta space. Typically, the words of the days of past have always been, you got to find the lowest availability, and that way the partners are going to be able to book it on Delta. Not the case. Delta can have the highest availability, Virgin Atlantic still has access to that. Why? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. So make sure you get Virgin Atlantic miles and you fly domestically using that. All right, next program. Quick fire today. A lot of good information. Not enough time ever in the day to get these things done. If you don't know what this website is, you need to know it. JMB, Japan Airlines Mileage Bank. Japan Airlines Mileage Bank. This is the partner award booking engine. Japan Airlines is in the One World Alliance as designated by this cool little logo right here. And of course, what domestic carrier here in the U.S. is also in the One World Alliance? That would be American Airlines. That means you can use Japan Airlines Mileage Bank miles to book domestic American Airlines tickets. And you're going to log in. You have to do that. You're going to come over to the tab that says GMB Partner Airlines Award Tickets. And let's say we want to fly one way. We want to do American Airlines. And let's not pick dates around the holidays because, as you should know, it's always going to be tough to fly during the holidays on award tickets. But let's say we want to go up to LaGuardia. And here you go, good example. Some airline websites let you put in Newark or LaGuardia or JFK, and some make you just put NYC. And that's what we're going to do. So how do you get Japan Airlines Mileage Bank miles? Well, right now, the only way to get them is transferring Marriott points over to JMB. So it's the same ratio as before with the Starwood Preferred program. It's going to be 60,000 Marriott points becomes 20,000 American Airlines miles, and for every 60,000 you transfer, you get a 5,000 mile bonus. So 60,000 Marriott becomes 25,000 JMB miles. Now here's a couple options it's given us here from Atlanta to LaGuardia. Flight times and numbers. We're just going to pick that one. Go down to continue. And Japan Airlines charges partners based on distance. So you want to maximize the distance that you fly in each zone. So 12,000 miles based on this zone. If you just Google Japan Airlines Mileage Bank miles, you're going to find the award chart, which can be extremely advantageous. For the purposes of this presentation, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to use this online booking engine that everybody ignores to book online tickets. When you go here, what the great thing with Japan Airlines is you can do stopovers on domestic itineraries. So something like Atlanta to New York to Chicago back to Atlanta, even staying in New York as long as I want, staying in Chicago as long as I want. It's going to be something like 20,000 miles. So just a lot less than usual. So all you got to do here, Air Redemption. This is like when you log in, this is your homepage. You're going to see Air Redemption, redeem JMB Partner Airlines tickets. You're going to find that engine. If you're not familiar with it, you really need to spend some time with that engine. I'm telling you, there's great things you can do with it. Think about some of the nice products American flies domestically. Also think about some of the really bad ones they fly. But Los Angeles to JFK on the A321 Transcon, there are some really attractive prices right there on that engine I just showed you. Not going to do circles and arrows. I'm going to make you do some work to go check it out, but that is definitely a program that you need to look at. Who's ready for the next one? Let's go. Staying with the American Airlines themes, I'm going to bring you over to a little website that I like to call Etihad Guest, which is also what they, of course, like to call it. This is Etihad Guest program. Spend miles right at the top, and then flying is what's highlighted next, and then you're going to scroll on down here to good old American Airlines. You click this tab, shows American Airlines, the miles you're going to redeem. One more click that you got to go through, and you're going to get here to a handy dandy chart that's going to show you how many Etihad miles it costs to fly American. How do you get Etihad miles? Transfer from Citi, transfer from American Express. That's how you get them. Really easy to get a lot if you have those two transferable point programs. If you're watching this video, you probably do. Really cool thing about this chart, Etihad has not updated it in several years, and it is cheaper to use Etihad miles to fly American than it is to use American Advantage miles. This chart mirrors the old American chart before the 2016 devaluation. So example, from North America to Europe in business class is 50,000 miles. That is less miles than American charges. This is economy off-peak and economy peak. So that's what you're looking for there. So these zones still have peak and off-peak. And it's like really great. So 62,500 first to Europe. I think it's 110,000 first now to Europe. Could be wrong on that, but very attractive pricing, especially for domestic. So down here, you'll see what it costs to fly domestically, so 12,500, and you can go into business and first. Pay attention to this, business and first. So think what domestic routes might have first, and it costs maybe the same. Hint, nudge, wink. Take a look at that, and then it's got the region breakdown here for you so that you know what countries are in this region. Really attractive pricing. All you have to do is go to American.com, find Saver Space, and once you find the flights with Saver availability, you can call Etihad and book those flights with Etihad miles and pay less miles than American would charge you for the exact same flight. So you're still getting on an American flight, you're still flying from JFK to LAX, you're just using Etihad miles to book that flight, and you're using less Etihad miles than you would have to use American miles. So really great program there. You have to be familiar with that. You have to check it out. I love it. Really easy to get it. Let's take a look at what program we want to go to next. So Iberia Plus, yeah. I'm actually just going to put Christina's blog post over here for us to kind of look at together. Here's a link up there if you're curious. As soon as I go over to screen share, here we go. So this is Christina's post that she just wrote. Really good stuff for using Amex points for sweet spot domestic. We talked about Virgin Atlantic. There's plenty of material about British Airways out there, but what I like to look at here is Iberia Plus. Now, what's the difference between Iberia Avios and British Airways Avios? Iberia charges based on total distance of your itinerary, whereas British Airways charges per segment. So if your total distance of the itinerary flown, so when I say that, I mean literally from Chicago to New York, it's 1,200 miles. So you take that and look at the region for Iberia Plus. It can be less Avios than if you were doing per segment with British Airways. So she's got an example in there. As she says, the Iberia website is not the easiest to navigate, but literally just a few minutes on there and you're going to be able to figure it out. And I like it a whole lot. So let's not forget about Iberia. Okay. All right. I'm going to do one more. That's because it's really cool and that makes absolutely no sense. I just pulled a tab over here so I can log in to my Avianca Life Miles account, which is your newest American Express transfer partner, and just had a ton, 145% buy mileage bonus, which I don't like to buy miles, and those of you who follow me, I never encourage that, but it's something to look at. So here's the Life Miles website. I've already logged in, as you can see here. If you're not familiar with Life Miles, this is the loyalty program of Avianca, which is a Colombian-based Star Alliance partner, just like United. That means you can use Avianca Life Miles to fly United domestic flights. So what does that look like here? Let's just take a look at one way. I've got Tampa to Houston, which is a route that United flies. I picked a random date. I did a search to get here. All I did was use, and then over to airline tickets. And I really like this interface. They've improved it greatly. It's not bad at all. I like it. That gives you an entire week's worth of results up here. And it's only 7,500 miles, which United is going to charge you 12,500. So that's how you book it. That's really all it is. All you have to do. Once you have 7,500 life miles, transfer from Citi or transfer from Amex, you can book United domestic flights. That simple. What's really cool about this, I'm going to show you something here. We just do the Life Miles Star Alliance Partner chart. You can see how often I search it because it pops right up in my browser. And we're going to look at what it is supposed to charge you to fly domestically. So this is the Star Alliance chart for Life Miles. This is saying if you fly from region X to region Y, it costs X number of miles. But down here at the bottom, we of course have all the regions divided up, specifically United States 1, 2, and 3, right here in this column. Now, if you do a little bit of detective work, like I tend to do on these programs because I'm that big of a dork, is you're going to notice that these regions make little to no sense, as well as there are only 49 states listed here. Okay, so I'll take that back. Alaska and Hawaii are in different zones by themselves or lumped together. So of the 48 contiguous states, only 47 are listed. I'm going to let you figure out which state they missed and what happens when you use airport codes in that state. It's really cool, really fun. Some of the things that Life Miles are known for used to be even more outrageous in the past. But let's take a quick look. So United States Zone 1 is pretty much the East Coast and then on down to a few states close to me. And then you'll see, for some reason, like Florida and Georgia are in Zone 2, not in Zone 1.
So if you stay in the United States Zone 2, you're going to see it includes Florida all the way out to Montana. So what this means is it costs less life miles to fly from Florida all the way to Montana than it would from Georgia to South Carolina. And that is based on the U.S. domestic chart, which is right here. So the United States 1, 2, 3 over to United States 1, 2, 3. So it's 7,500 United States Zone 1 to Zone 1. United States Zone 2 to Zone 1 is 10,000. And then United States Zone 2 to Zone 2, i.e. Florida to Montana, 7,500. Florida to Georgia, 10,000. Georgia to South Carolina. Florida to Montana, 7,500. Georgia to South Carolina, 10,000 miles. Doesn't make sense. That's some of the randomness and weirdness and fun things with this program. Study these charts, find out the missing state, and see what shenanigans you can make happen. I'm going to go right quick back to the engine and show you some more fun things that this can do when it comes to trying to book these award tickets. Some of the things you find here once you spend just a little bit of time can be sort of fun. So the site does default to Spanish, so unless you're talented and also fluent in Spanish, you need to click English at the top, use airlines, and here's a quick example of some funny things that you can see. So we're going to fly from Washington Dulles out to Los Angeles, a route United flies several times a day. Picking a random date, we're going to find availability. And again, I love it, shows you a entire week at a time. It's 9,500 miles. This is Washington Dulles Transcon out to Los Angeles. Only 9,500 miles. If you go back to that life miles chart we just looked at, you're not going to see 9,500 on there anywhere. Makes no sense. Don't know where that price comes from, but that's what happens. But wait, there's more. So Washington Dulles to Los Angeles, 9,500 miles. That means Los Angeles to Washington should obviously cost the exact same 9,500 miles, right? Well, let's see, because I don't think it's going to cost that much. Nope, 12,500 miles. So why does that happen? How does that make sense? I don't know, but this is just a taste of some of the gems that's out there. In the Life Miles program, you fly the exact same route in reverse, you're going to be charged 3,000 extra miles. Why does that happen? I don't know, but good grief if you're not finding some of these bugs out there. And there's more. You remember, we don't do circles and arrows here at Award Travel 101. I give you a taste of what's there, and I make you go do the work to find some of the shenanigans that happen. Again, really easy to get life miles either from American Express or Citi, or they routinely have huge buy mile bonuses, which I do not ever recommend buying miles, except in some crazy cases like this and some of the things that you can do with life miles. So a quick recap. We covered Virgin Atlantic. We covered Japan Airlines. I have a little hint that there's going to be a new way to earn Japan Airlines miles, which is going to be great for that wonderful booking for American Miles. Then we looked at Etihad, and then we looked at Avianca Life Miles. Don't forget Korean miles to book Delta. However, it's hard to get Korean now that you can't transfer Ultimate Rewards there. Don't forget Singapore Krish Flyer to fly United. However, Singapore Krish Flyer now puts fuel surcharges on some domestic United tickets. Really annoying. You can book Delta tickets with Flying Blue. I just actually wrote an article about how that's kind of all screwy now, so I can't really recommend Flying Blue anymore. So I'll stick with these 4 programs. You're going to find some really great deals on domestic flights. The things that people have no idea about. If you understand this and if you learn these strategies I just talked to you, you're very quickly going to be in the top 1% of award travelers here in the United States. Thanks as always for tuning in to Award Travel 101. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and ask us questions anytime on Facebook in the Award Travel 101 community. We'll catch you next time.